Hi everybody, Jerralyn Rose here. Hey, I've got a birthday card that I was pretty happy with that didn't get much reception over on Instagram. What do you guys think? There's a little bit of housekeeping at first. The mail call form is down below in the description if you want to enter. And also a reminder that February 1st, YouTube's changed the qualifications. If I don't qualify by then with this channel, I'm pretty much going to lose all the hard work I've put into it. So please like and share and comment and run my playlists in the background if you can. I so appreciate it. Okay, onto the card. I don't know why it didn't get more comments on Instagram. I really like it. Maybe that's just me, having that artistic background and trying to do miniature art on the cards. So it's different. All my cards are. So I was like, okay, well, that's all right. I'm going to keep it for someone that's near and dear to me. I think they will like it. And in the meantime, yeah, I used my gel print again. I'm laying down white and yellow tones with the halftone stencil. This is acrylic paint that I'm using on the gel print. I'm putting that paper over top and pressing it in, and then I'm letting it dry, and then the paint will peel up with it. And what I did at the very end is after I'd done the stencil, I toned it out with the yellow and white paint to bring more yellow tones in across the entire top. This is the Crafty Canuck, the wonky stitched rectangles set, and then I ran it through with the Swiss dots embossing folder. This didn't put a very deep impression on it, but I didn't want a really deep impression because I'm going to do further with this. I'm actually going to stamp over it with the Simon Says stamp, the Sunflower Fields. I did that in a navy ink, and then I used Versamark over top of the navy ink. Now, if I'd used an oxide, it would have not needed the Versamark because it would have taken the embossing powder quite well, or in this case, it's going to be embossing glaze, but I also would have lost the definition. And this stamp has got a lot of detail in it with the lines. I'm having to press really hard on the flower centers, which usually, you're not wanting to mash it this much, but because I've got that embossing texture in there, I wanted the dots to show up. So as I said, I've pressed it with the dark navy ink and then puts a little bit of Versamark over top. Now I'm bringing in these two embossing glazes. This one was chipped sapphire, and I'm also going to bring in vintage photo. So I only put the blue one in certain spots through there, and I'm using the vintage photo as a distressing technique, that the spots that hadn't picked up the navy embossing glaze, it's going to grab the brown. We're just going to give it a little shot with the heat gun here and watch it melt. And that's also going to set the inks that didn't get any glaze over top of it. So, of course, this is all dry, and I'm bringing in the stencils for that Sunflower Fields set. And I'm not doing it the way that you would typically do a flower, where, you would do darker all around the outside, or you would do the darkest in the middle and then lighten it as you go out. I wanted to do just odd blotches, and I wanted the colors to be in sunflower style colors, but wonderful warm tones. So I'm using the deeper yellows and the oranges, and then for the center is a little bit of a dark kind of raspberry maroony red. I also brought in some of the turquoises for the leaves. I wasn't going to go green with this one. I'm like, you know what? That orange, complementary of it, is a blue, a light blue. So I brought that Tealy Cave in, which is a turquoisey blue. I'm using that for the stems and the leaves. And come on. Oh my goodness. I should have sped this up a little bit more for you. I'm back on my make art station because my sticky mats are losing their grip no matter how much I've washed them with just water or a little bit of soap. And so I'm using the make art because the magnets are holding down the stencils better. I've got this in the splat box now. I used a little spritz of solar spray first up in the top left-hand corner, and then a little bit of the mica spray splattered with the straw down in the bottom. and I dabbed it off with the napkin there, as you saw. Now, I had to get out my stamp wheel because I've got the inside of the card and it needs to shoot out over the side so that I can fit the sunflower stamp on the right-hand side and have it coming off. And that's also where I've got that release paper that's underneath it so that it doesn't stick to that sticky mat. So now back to the Misty. And the inside is from Penny Black, the Birthday Love Sentiments. I'm doing my, usual ombre where I'm bringing in the lightest ink first and then I'm deepening it up in spots. So I was using those warm yellows and the oranges. Some of it I am just tapping off with my brush so that it blends it a little bit better. And I am going to accentuate a couple of the words in there. Now you can see that I'm deepening up the tones towards the bottom of that sentiment a little bit more so that they stand out. And I've got them placed over top of that very light yellow sunflower stamp that we put in the back with the sunflowers. I also thought it would be neat to kind of put it in a different spot. So I've got them situated more down towards that bottom right-hand corner. And usually, we put the sentiments right up in the top, but I thought, I'm going to do a little bit of something different here this time. It'll give me more area to write as well. And it kind of mimics what's going on the front of the card, that we've as well got all of the flowers situated over the bottom right. So I had the stencils out again. I'm using some of the light yellows and the oranges and a little bit of that turquoise, just what was left on the blending brushes, to bring those colors in now that we've got the sentiment stamped. Custom stamp on the back there. And again, what was left on the blending brushes for the orange and the turquoise. I did not use brown to distress around the outside of this. And I'm just putting it in spots where I can see some of the hints coming through from the colors from the gel print. Okay, there you can see the texture on the back of that as I'm gluing it down. Wiggle room on this one. It wasn't too warped because that embossing folder isn't a really deep 3D one, so I wasn't worried about putting ultra sticky tape down on it. Okay, the happy birthday, cut it out of one of my old happy birthday dies and in a yellow cardstock, and then brought orange in across the bottom. I'm putting that over a turquoise shadow layer in the back, and that's just offset. It's the same die cut over again, but just slightly moved over to the side. And I wanted to make this stand out too. So I'm bringing the solar spray back in. This is the orange one, and I'm giving it blotchy spritches. So you're going to see the solar spray in only certain spots, and this is a matte embossing powder. I wasn't going to clear glaze this. I want this to have a really different effect. It's kind of like when you get your nails done and you have a shimmery nail polish and then you put a matte top coat over top of it. And it's the coolest effect with the way it sort of glows. So that's what I did with this. Got it all set with the heat gun. I'm going to set it down over top of those flowers so that everything is kind of concentrated down in that one side. And just shiny, shiny, bling, bling, of course. These are some of my old, they're kind of like a coffee pearlized, half pearl. And I put the bigger ones down at the bottom and smaller up to the top. And that finishes the card. Okay, so let me know. What do you guys think? Like, I like it. But, we all have different tastes, right? And just a reminder about helping me to qualify for YouTube before February 1st so I don't lose all the work put into the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. Anyways, I hope you're getting some crafting time in. Everybody go be that change you want to see in the world. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.